Customer, I was just told Lincoln here is down in 156. So just for old time's sake, what do we want?
Healthcare!
What do we want it? What do we want? Healthcare! What do we want it? What are we going to keep?
Healthcare!
Today should be a big celebration in America. A year ago today, President Obama signed the legislation now known as the Affordable Care Act. But while many of us want to celebrate, the United States House Energy and Commerce Committee has two members down the hall holding a hearing about why we should repeal this law. Say that again. We think of it as a show trial, and to see the difference between what they're doing and what we're doing, pay attention to who's testifying. In room 156, you're going to see the governor of Pennsylvania, some other political officials from the state. You'll see some representatives of small business, people who claim to be representatives of small businesses, but mostly sell insurance to small businesses. And in the room, you'll see a lot of lobbyists and a lot of other ideologues. Here, in this rotunda, in the People's House, you're going to see real Pennsylvanians who will tell us real stories about why this legislation has already been benefiting them. Why this legislation is so important to improving their lives, removing the insecurity about getting health care in America.
Before having insurance, my GYN checkup was $125. Under PA Fair Care, it was free. Without insurance, the bone density test would have been $2,200. Under PA Fair Care, I paid 10% charge of $220. I pay a portion of my lab charges, but my out-of-pocket payments count towards the $1,000 yearly deductible. Next Monday, I will be having my first real physical and blood work in over 3 years.
Knock on wood, I'm a reasonably healthy person, but even so, I take 3 pills a day to stay that way. With annual visits, my doctor is able to catch problems before they get serious and costly. Thank you, healthcare reform. I hope you have a long, long life.
Hi, my name is Stacy Ritter. I'm a mom of 4 beautiful children, 2 of which are childhood cancer survivors, and stand to lose a lot if this bill is repealed. If this law, I'm sorry, is repealed. The health reforms included in this landmark Affordable Care Act advance critical protections to children like mine and millions of Americans facing cancer. Provisions in the law prohibit insurance companies from denying coverage to individuals who participate in clinical trials, which is the key to finding a cure for cancer. Without those clinical trials, there's no hope. After recovering from cancer, children can no longer be denied coverage due to a pre-existing condition. Children get cancer through no fault of their own. They're not smoking, they're not living an unhealthy lifestyle. I know that the thing that they want to say is, take care of yourselves, you won't get sick. Tell that to a child who's done nothing wrong, who's not asked for this disease. They can't, they have no choice. We can't keep denying them, and this law helps protect from that. It will also require all new plans to provide preventative services without charging co-payments, deductibles, or co-insurance, increasing regular access to checkups that can help detect childhood cancers and treat them earlier, because we all know that cancer has a better chance of being cured if caught early. Let's not make our citizens wait until it's too late, until the cancer is too aggressive before they're even able to seek help. Let's get them there first. Let's get them there early. Let's beat this. We can, and we can with this law. We can keep the insurance companies from rescinding their coverage when they get sick, from finding reasons and excuses not to have to follow through with what your doctors are prescribing.
My name is Dave Fitzpatrick, and I am the parent of 2 children. I have a 19-year-old son, a 23-year-old daughter. My son works part-time at an amusement park. He is not eligible for insurance. My daughter is in school. She works part-time. She's not eligible for insurance. When this health care plan was passed, that made them eligible to stay under our health care plan from the parents. Without this, it would have been absolutely financially devastating, and these two fine young citizens would not have health care, so it directly impacted upon them.
The Small Business Tax Credit has made it possible to provide health insurance to 3 employees of our real estate firm who are underinsured or about to lose their coverage. One staffer was coming off a COBRA and was going to lose his insurance. One had an awful plan that covered just about nothing. The third had a good plan but was paying through the nose for it. We took the 3 of them and put them on a group plan. We can now pay 100% of good coverage because we get a piece of that back from the tax credit.
So finally, what opponents say about healthcare reform is they call it Obamacare. And I don't want to hear anybody talk about that anymore, because you know what? It's not Obamacare. It's my care. This is my care. This is my care for my children. This is my care for my mother. This is my care for my friends. This is my care. We need to keep my care. Thank you.
At the end of the day, there's a really important point for somebody who's a state treasurer who obsesses with economic security to make. You cannot be financially secure in the United States of America if you think that you could fall prey to huge expenses from medical emergencies. Period.
I have met the mother of a young woman named Courtney Lee Huber, who was a type 1 diabetic. She got a full scholarship to the University of Missouri for track and field. Courtney was 23, self-supporting after college, and no longer eligible to be on her father's insurance plan. It was cheaper for her to buy her insulin than to pay the monthly premium for health insurance. Courtney tried to save a little money by cutting back on her nighttime dosage of insulin. She thought she had the flu. She fell into a coma and died in January 2010, about the same time my son was tutoring high school students to take the SATs. The Affordable Care Act would have saved Courtney. I wonder how much time and worry Courtney put into just trying to survive when kids her age should be dreaming big dreams about life. When I think of Courtney, I think that my son could have lain dying in bed alone were it not for a different set of genes. If my son had not passed his physical, he would have joined the ranks of the uninsurable like Courtney until he got a full-time job with benefits. So here we are.
What do they have to say to people? What do they have to say to these people who've come here to say this legislation is important to them? What do they have to say to people who are testifying? You know, sometimes I wonder, have they ever heard those stories? Has Tom Corbett heard the stories of people who need this legislation? You know, I'm beginning to think they don't care. That seems to be what it comes down to.
Hi everybody, I'm here today to tell you Billy's story, what was and what could have been. Billy was my brother. He was a great guy with a gentle soul and a loving heart, but that heart didn't always beat so good. We worried all the time that we would be getting a call that Billy died, and that call came on March the 7th, 2009. Billy left work that day, drove 2 blocks, came to a stop sign, put his car in park, and he slumped against his steering wheel. So I guess when the President signed the law, the Patients Protection and Affordable Care Act into law, I was elated. This wasn't going to happen to another American. And yet I felt a little sad, a little angry, and a little envious. Because if we had that law before, I know one thing. Billy, if we had had the law on December 14th, Billy would have never been asked the question, do you put oil on your car? Instead, Billy would have been treated with dignity.
What do we want?